Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your time with Hogwarts Legacy. I actually had such a great time I went back and watched the first 4 Harry Potter movies, which have aged as one might expect. I still can't believe those movies are 20 years old now. But I'm just here to talk about the next Harry Potter game, or what I think it should be. Given the success of Hogwarts Legacy, I think a sequel is definitely on the table. I know a lot of you have your own ideas, so let me know down below what you've come up with. Like, subscribe, and let's dive in because there's a lot to discuss. Hogwarts Legacy might not be canon, but that gives us some freedom. It also doesn't mean it can't use material from the canon universe. So for my first idea, let me paint a story. Around the same time you were at Hogwarts, Gellert Grindelwald was likely a student at Durmstrang. He was admitted in the 1880s or 1890s according to his wiki page, before being expelled a few years later. And on the other end of the continent, Albus Dumbledore started studying at Hogwarts in 1892. So assuming you didn't drop out from school, your paths may have crossed. But fast forwarding from your schooling years, I think the next game could take place in the 1930s after the third Fantastic Beasts movie. My reasoning for this is that I don't think a direct sequel to Hogwarts Legacy would be all that interesting. I know I'm jumping around a little, but indulge me for a sec because these two things will connect. Hogwarts Legacy has a pretty conclusive end in my opinion, and we've already thoroughly explored the school. Most of what made that game so great was the fact that Hogwarts has never been built with that amount of detail before. We were able to explore Hogwarts, Hogsmeade, and the surrounding area, so going back there so soon would be kind of boring. But if the game takes place outside of school, that gives us the opportunity to explore the urban settings and magical communities of, let's say, London and New York City. This also opens up the possibility for interesting Muggle or No-Maj interactions, which is where the Fantastic Beasts movies come in.
What?
The No-Maj. No magic. The non-wizard.
Sorry, we call them muggles.
Since those have been axed for now, why not continue that story in a video game? There's obviously a lot of material there since they were planning on making 5 films, so why not use the last 2 films as a basis for the next game instead of letting it collect dust? Just don't drag it out like the movies did. The relationship between Dumbledore and Grindelwald has crossed a line of no return, and all roads were seemingly leading to a final duel between the two. I think playing as Dumbledore would make sense, but I can also see a route where you play as an Auror in the midst of Grindelwald's revolution, which could potentially be your character imported from Hogwarts Legacy. Of course, they'd be older, but that way it would make sense if they decide to keep ancient magic in the game. It could also lead to some interesting interactions between you and Dumbledore, since you would have likely met during your school years. It's such a shame because I truly believe the Fantastic Beasts movies could have been good, if not great, if it had better writing. But if there's a chance it can be used in a game, then that story doesn't have to die with the unused script.
The Goblet of Fire!
My second idea is a Triwizard Tournament. Of course, this would have to take place before its ban in 1792, but I don't think that'd be an issue. If anything, that would make it more interesting. First held in the late 13th century, the Triwizard Tournament was a long-standing competition between 3 of the major wizarding schools in Europe: Hogwarts, Durmstrang Institute, and Beauxbaton Academy. One student is selected from each school as its champion to compete in a series of trials, but they stopped holding the tournament because so many champions died in the process. Even with the restrictions in place during the 1994 tournament, it was still incredibly dangerous. Harry may have drawn the short end of the dragon's tail, but that overgrown lizard was out for blood. And if he didn't save Fleur's sister, were they just going to let her drown and die? That's what it seemed like. So those pre-ban tournaments would have been absolutely medieval. There's definitely a lot of room for creativity. The Goblet of Fire was great for other reasons too, because it introduced us to an expanded wizarding world. Being able to see other students from Beauxbaton and Durmstrang was groundbreaking, and contrary to how they're portrayed in the movies, both of these schools are co-ed. Just imagine being able to go into the Durmstrang ship or the Beauxbaton carriage. I'd definitely pay to see that. And if they made a playable character from each school, that would make the game's replay value insanely high, something that's non-existent in Hogwarts Legacy.
Is there a school? A wizardry school here in America?
Of course. Ilvermorny. It's only the best wizard school in the whole world.
I think you'll find that the best wizarding school in the world is Hogwarts.
Piggybacking off of that last point, what if a sequel took place in a different school? This seems unlikely since there's hardly any information on the other schools, but I could still dream. We don't even really know what Ilvermorny looks like apart from a few written pages, but I would love to see it brought to life. It doesn't have to be Ilvermorny, but after Hogwarts, that's the school we have the most information on. The top 3 schools I'd love to see would be Ilvermorny, Wagadu, and Durmstrang. Let me know which schools you'd want to see most. Honestly, seeing any of these schools would be awesome, but this seems more like a pipe dream for now. I'm not going to go too crazy in the brain bin, but those are my 3 ideas. If you want to share your ideas, make sure to write them down below. I look forward to reading them. And let me know if you enjoyed this video and tell me what you want to see next. Thanks for watching and see you next time.